All right, athletes and future sports scientists, listen up. We're about to do a crash course on the one thing that makes every single sporting achievement possible. I'm talking about your body's ultimate framework, your skeletal system.
So let's start with a question. You've got a boxer's power, a sprinter's speed, and a goalie's incredible agility. Three totally different things, right? So what's the secret link? What connects them all?
You got it. It's the skeleton. It's the unsung hero behind every single goal, every tackle, every single win. See, it's not just a coat rack for your muscles. It's the architectural marvel that makes your performance even possible.
Okay, so let's dive right in and meet the team. This is kind of like the parts list for an elite athlete, and we're going to start right at the top.
First up, the cranium. Think of it as your body's own built-in helmet. Super important for protecting your brain from, say, a boxer's jab or, a brutal study session. Then you've got the armor for your torso. Your clavicle or collarbone gives you structure. Your sternum and ribs, they create this amazing protective cage for your heart and lungs. And anchoring all that is the scapula, your shoulder blade, which is the crucial base for any powerful throwing motion.
Now let's talk about the arms. The humerus in your upper arm, that's the powerhouse behind a crushing tennis serve. Down in your forearm, you've got the radius and ulna working together to put that perfect spin on a cricket ball. Then your wrist and hand, man, it's this complex system of carpals and metacarpals that gives a gymnast the stability they need. And finally, the phalanges, your fingers. Yeah, they're great for high-speed texting, but they're also what lets you get that perfect grip on a golf club or a climbing hold.
Okay, at the very core of it all is your central pillar, the vertebral column. It's actually broken into sections, the cervical, thoracic, and lumbar regions. And this is what lets a dancer pivot with grace or a kayaker rotate with so much power. At the base, you've got the sacrum and coccyx. And this whole structure plugs right into the pelvis, which is the critical hub that transfers all that explosive power from your legs to your upper body, just like in a weightlifter's clean and jerk.
And finally, we get to the powerhouses, your legs. The femur, your thigh bone, is the longest and strongest bone in your entire body. It's literally what launches a high jumper into the air. The patella or kneecap is key for leverage. Down in your lower leg, the tibia and fibula give you the strength to handle a tough football tackle. And in your feet, the tarsals and metatarsals act like shock absorbers, which is how a gymnast can stick a perfect landing. Now here's where it gets really cool. Not all bones are made the same. You gotta think of your skeleton like a master mechanic's toolbox. I mean, you wouldn't use a screwdriver to hammer a nail, would you? Of course not. Your body is the same way. It has a very specific bone designed for every single job.
So first up we have long bones, like your femur and humerus. Their main job is to act as levers. Your muscles pull on them to create these big, powerful movements. Oh, and as a side hustle, they're also the body's main factory for making blood cells. Pretty important.
Next, we've got short bones. These are those stout, kind of blocky bones like the carpals in your wrist. They're not about big movements. They're all about stability and bearing weight. They create this super solid platform that lets a weightlifter support hundreds of pounds overhead without their wrists just collapsing.
Then there's the body's natural armor plating, flat bones. Your cranium, your ribs, your sternum, these are all prime examples. They have two main jobs: protection, shielding your brain and organs from impact, and providing a huge surface area for your biggest muscles to attach to.
Now for the weird ones, the creatively named irregular bones. These are the specialists. They've got these complex, really unique shapes that are built for very specific jobs. Your vertebrae are the perfect example. That intricate design protects your super delicate spinal cord while also allowing for incredible flexibility.
And finally, maybe the cleverest of them all, sesamoid bones. These are bones that are actually embedded inside a tendon, like your patella or kneecap. They act just like a pulley, reducing friction and giving the muscle a way better mechanical advantage. It's how the patella helps your quads generate that much more force for an explosive jump shot. Just brilliant engineering.
So now that we know the different types of bones, let's look at how they're organized. The best way to think about your skeleton is as two distinct but totally collaborative teams. You've got the stable core and you've got the dynamic movers.
So on one side, you have your axial skeleton. This is your central chassis, your skull, vertebrae, and ribs. Its main job, protection and stability. On the other side is the appendicular skeleton. That's everything else, your arms, legs, pelvis, shoulder blades. This is your suspension and your wheels, built for movement. You need that stable core to allow your limbs to generate massive power. You know what they say, you can't fire a cannon from a canoe.
And this is why posture is so critical for athletes.
Things like kyphosis or scoliosis are basically a misalignment of that central chassis, and that can throw off your entire system, leaking power and messing with your balance. A neutral spine alignment is absolutely key for peak performance.
So far, it might seem like the skeleton is just this static frame, but let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered how that frame isn't static at all, but is actually a living system that gets stronger right along with you?
Well, meet your internal construction crew. It's true. You have osteoblasts. These are the builders. They're the cells that actually lay down new bone tissue. And then you have osteoclasts. These guys are the remodelers, clearing out old, worn-out bone to make way for the new, stronger stuff. And they are on the job 24/7.
So how does this actually work? Well, when you do weight-bearing exercise, you put stress on your bones. That stress acts as a signal, telling those osteoblasts to get to work. They start building new bone to handle the load, while the osteoclasts clear out the old material. For younger athletes, this whole process gets supercharged at the epiphyseal plate, the growth plate, where new bone length is added. The end result? Denser, stronger bones that are way more resistant to injury.
So, here's the big takeaway, the thing you have to remember. Your skeleton isn't just a collection of sticks. It's a dynamic, living tissue that is constantly breaking down and rebuilding itself, adapting and reinforcing itself based on the exact demands you put on it.
Which leaves us with one final thought. Now that you know your bones are listening, that they are actively responding to every jump, every sprint, and every lift, how are you going to train differently tomorrow? How will you build a truly elite athletic framework? The blueprint? Well, it's yours to shape.